mini complaint over. Let's dive into this best of 3 semi-final from the ESL Open Cup Korea, number 135, between the blue Zerg in the bottom left corner of the map, Dark, and the red Terran in the top right corner of the map, ByuN. Map 1 of this series. So, it's best of 3. This was played about a week ago, 8th of August or 7th of August, something along those lines. That's when the Open Cup Korea is on Sundays. I never get to cast them live. They start at like 4 AM for me, which is just way too early to justify waking up for. And then first couple of rounds aren't super exciting. By the time it gets good, yeah, then it's only like a couple hours of streaming left in it. So, not really worthwhile, but absolutely a great event to grab the replays from and to have a look at, and that's always fun. That's exactly what we're doing here. We just watched ByuN in the previous round, his round of 8 match, and this is his semi-final. Taking on Dark, and Dark is playing a lot of these cups when GSL isn't active, so fun to see this one. There was apparently an epic ByuN Dark series in one of these cups a couple weeks back, and I wanted to cast it, but it was so long that I never had the downtime to cast it, you know? Like, if I'm casting between events to kind of make a bit of time, like, that's usually like an hour or so I want to cast for. It was a very long series. I know Loco casted one of the games. It was like 45 minutes. And I'm even, like, I still have it in my list as like a maybe something to go back to at some point. But apparently it was epic. So we'll see what this one is. I didn't hear any tales of this one being super long. So we'll find out what happens and just how it pans out in the next few moments. So CC going down. Getting this set up, and already you see a Roach Roar on the side of Dark. So he's just playing very Dark-esque. He loves his Roach openers, but obviously this is a very aggressive style of Roach opener, no doubt about that. And it's just going to be seen our reactor finishing up, and a couple of Marines going to get to start. That's our hatchery going down on the natural expansion from Dark at the moment. Again, Roach Roar about to be finishing, so you can go about 4 Roaches here. And that will be pretty much it. You can maybe then get a Ravager as you go across the map. Maybe go 3 Roaches and make 1 Ravager. I think 4 Ravager is pretty fine as well, honestly. It's kind of hard to go wrong with the number. I mean, you're pretty limited by the gas. He's going to go 4, and then I'm pretty sure he doesn't make number 5, and he just makes one of these into a Ravager as he goes across, and there's going to be some light pressure to start us out here in this game. So see our factory lift up. I'm going to move over to the reactor. And then I'm going to move that off the reactor because he sees the Roaches coming with these first few Marines. So this is what ByuN likes to do. He likes to get a few Marines out, start to move them across the map, and then, obviously, he can maybe get some pressure in. In this case, he sees the Roaches, so he spots this, and then he's going to put more Marines onto out of the reactor. That means he might actually be able to get a reasonable defense here. We'll have to pull SCVs, no doubt about it. Again, a tech lab on the factory is ByuN. How many SCVs do we lose? We can't afford to lose loads. He's going to lose... Oh, he's going for this Ravager kill. Can he stop this Ravager morphing? No, that's a lot of damage output that kind of gets wasted. He still kills it. It was surrounded by SCVs. It couldn't get away. I think ByuN is going to hold this, obviously, but again, it's really a question of how many SCVs do you lose, and so far, 10. Definitely seems to be on the very painful side of things. Cyclone on the way out will guarantee a cleanup and a pushback, but that was a very good start from Dark. I mean, 10 SCVs going down here is pretty brutal. It's definitely pretty expensive, no doubt about it. Can't really argue that any other way. Well, a little bit of a rough start. It's going to be seeing our Cyclone, a couple extra Marines continuing out here. Don't lose the Cyclone, though. I mean, the Cyclone is really useful to have afterwards as well. You would also like to kill these Ravagers, though. I mean, they are expensive units. If you could kill the 2 of them, that'd be amazing. Wow. The fact that 2 Ravagers get away, I've got to say, I really like for Dark. Just one of those things where it's like, that doesn't need to happen necessarily, but the fact it does, like I say, is just very nice. Yeah, just nice to see those little things, and Dark going to maintain those, be able to use those as a little bit of his defense, and that's always a good thumbs up. From me, at least. I don't know if Dark really cares if he gets a thumbs up from me, but he's getting one anyways, guys. He's getting one. I'm going to drop these few Marines off over here and try and get a little more done. Just keeping this going. Trying to get cancel on this third hatch. Obviously, this is one of the things to keep in mind is that Dog's third hatch is late because of this as well. And now ByuN continue to pressure. I mean, he's gone down about 9 workers, but if he gets some kills here, he could actually make this worthwhile. He's getting a lot of the units. Oh my goodness. ByuN is killing a lot of stuff. Holy wow. I mean, killing a bunch of the couple of Ravagers was nice. Getting those after you didn't manage to find them earlier, as I was talking about. Nice to be able to follow up on that. And now getting a good few Roaches too. Just going to make Dark feel less comfortable. That means less drones and more reinforcing units. And Dark, 5 Overlords on the way at once right now is probably supply blocked for a bit. And then having to build a whole bunch at once. Little macro errors. And all of a sudden, ByuN 36 SCVs to 39 drones. Yeah, okay, Dark's got drones on the way now, but ByuN right back in the game when it comes to worker count compared to what we had been seeing. So, big step forward for ByuN there. As these few Marines are going to walk into some Queens. That's not going to be super fun. That's not going to go too well. That's just going to get pushed back. We're just going to sit on that bottom left side. The cloak will be coming online in a few moments as well. So just getting that set up. In a few. There's the Banshee going to cloak up as well. I'm just going to move forward. He's going to go after a couple of these drones. There's one going down straight away. Banshee still taking a little bit of damage as it sneaks by. And the Hellion drop in the main. Oh, this could be really nice. Dark sees it coming, so he does get to start pulling the drones away. ByuN a little slow there with the Hellions and stopped for a second. Now in this mineral line and trying to just maximize damage done. It's been a little messy. It's not always been lined up, but still going well enough. 10 workers killed. Going to get to 14. Doesn't find more with the final shot. Obviously, he's got the Banshee to get a little bit of damage done as well. This Banshee finds 3 kills in total, so... And now the other Banshee showing up too. We walk a bit too close to the sun there, and the Spore Crawler detection gets rid of Banshee number 1 at least, so a little victory coming through eventually. We've got drones actually still going down. They transfer between bases. This Banshee gets more damage done. No Overseer still. It's only just now morphing. That's going to be what provides the mobile detection to get rid of the Banshee between the bases there. Queen still firing, Banshee still getting pushed away a little bit. Evolution Chamber about to finish up, extra drones all coming through. Carapace upgrade coming online as well. Here is another couple of Banshee shots on the right side. Well, the Queens are here pretty quickly to start pushing that Banshee away again. It's going to say, get out of here, want nothing to do with you. Get out of our part of town, for sure. Don't want to see you at all. CVs will move across to the third base. The Banshee going to pull back. Probably some SCVs that can get some repairs on that would be nice. Atlas Den is already coming up. +1/+1 missiles. Roach speed all coming through. 1/1 upgrades on the side of the Terran player. Combat shield. +1 vehicle weapons. Again, everything being established early on. Getting a few moments of calm, right? I mean, obviously, ByuN takes damage early. Kind of bounces back pretty nicely. And now, Dark is in the position where he's got to look at this and say, okay, well, I can get some of my tech up, but neither player is going to be attacking for a little bit. I mean, ByuN's going to move forward, but I imagine this is more than anything just creep clearing. Sure, if the opportunity arises, if the right forces show up at the right time, and he can take a fight, brilliant. But yeah, this feels like opening some doorways, right? Knocking down these rocks, clearing out some creep, perhaps. If Dark lets more than that happen, that's really on him, because ByuN does not move onto the map with this force, thinking, oh yeah, like, there's so much I can do here. No, that's just not really that type of army. It's just a group of Marines. They don't have combat shields for a few more moments. The Roach Ravager in position straight away. So like I say, just going to take down some rocks. That gives him a pathway to move into later on, so he doesn't have to stop later to clear that out. And as he swings around, he'll get some creep, which is something that Dark can't save as well as he would like to, because Roach Ravager is slow. So rotating Roach Ravager one way then the other takes a little bit of time. That's one way the Bioforce can take advantage. But a lot of tanks right now, and ByuN is actually going to continue for a bit more of a push. This is a push that could actually maybe see some real success. ByuN's going to come straight up these this pathway that he just cleaned out with the rocks being killed. And from there, we are going to be seeing him setting up these tanks. Now, tanks are far enough back to be safe, but What I do like is that they're still kind of covering like this kind of area here, this sort of choked up point, where the Roach Ravager is likely to have to move through. It gets clumped a little bit because of those rocks, and now he's going to get some of the tanks behind those rocks as well, get toward that hatchery. And she's going to make a dive here from Dark. He's going to commit into this. The tanks are all siege. Right now, the tanks want to make sure they're not target firing the Queens. They actually are target firing the Ravagers. That's really important, because if you're hitting the Queens are made to tank in this situation. ByuN is winning this fight right now. He's still got tanks going at it, sieging up a new one as well. And unfortunately, those tanks are stacked, but there's not enough to kill them off, so they're still alive. The Banshee shows up from the side, and Infesta has no energy here. Is everything gonna die from Dark? Pretty much. 2 or 3 Roaches get out alive from this entire trade. My goodness, that is really kind of crazy. Wow, what a fight from ByuN. I love it. Again, I mentioned the tanks, and they were target firing the Ravagers, and that is so important. If those tanks are not target firing the Ravagers and they're just hitting Queens, ByuN gets so much less value out of the entirety of this fight. So, really important part of that battle, and really cool execution from ByuN. Knew exactly what he had to do. Dark Dark pulled the trigger a moment sooner. Maybe he could have got ByuN while ByuN was relocating some of those tanks as well. Obviously, was just a little bit off from maybe being able to successfully do that, which is also perhaps a little bit of a shame. We've got Roach Ravager moving around different directions. Still only 4 bases from Dark. Well, Dark's a master of playing off of less economy than you really should have in a game of Zerg versus whatever. He really is probably one of the best at kind of playing games like him and Rogue, right? These guys are really good at playing those scrappy games, which just don't quite go right, don't quite go correctly. Got to kind of improvise, play again positions you're not really used to playing off of. Let's see what happens here as we you see Dark taking a 5th. It's not like he's got super low eco, it's just the fact he doesn't have a 5th base. 12 minutes in, you gotta start imagining 76 workers are gonna need a 5th to start at least latching onto a little bit. Need a little bit of something out of all that. Marines, tanks, and medevacs are gonna make their way down to the bottom, and another push from ByuN as he gets across here now. Dark is maxed out again, so again, when you look at it like that, it's not like this is looking super crazy good or anything for ByuN right off the bat. Let's see if that will change at all. Just a bit of bio, getting some shots in, getting some hits in already. Gonna start going after this hatchery. Viper's gonna play the abduction game. 1, 2, and 3 tanks get brought straight into this army. Some good damage done there right off the start, and 8 drones just gonna sit dead on the back of this. Hatchery denied as well. And ByuN's actually going to see this base here, so he was looking to drop the main, and then he says, well, 3 base right here, just going to take that instead? Absolutely, of course you do. Completely the correct decision, so just cancels that up, and Dark back down to only 4 bases, now playing through the bottom side of the map. Oh no! This Roach Ravager is surrounded. ByuN's going to be able to get a surround on it with the units on the right side, then catching up. Good enough trade for ByuN. It's obviously a bit weird. He does lose a lot in this fight as well. I think overall, definitely good for him. Wow, that was an out of nowhere almost moment, right? That Roach Ravager just out in the open, not really where you're meant to be, and yeah, again, a little bit punished, like I say, for kind of playing right there. Ouch. That hurts. Look, gonna get picked up. Gonna see that going down then as our Bioforce continues to push on forward, and actually gonna get rid of at least one lurker down that ramp. I mean, the thing is, lurkers in this stage of the game are kind of rough because you already have so many tanks, and the lurkers aren't gonna come online with the stuff that really makes them all that great, you know? So the lurkers take a little while to really get going in this situation, and that's a real shame. So it's kind of just the problem, like if you fall this far behind playing lurkers, yeah, it probably is kind of your hour, but it's not a guarantee. Because the Terran does have a lot of what they need to push lurkers back, and especially when you're playing Roaches, you don't have the link flood to kind of support those lurkers. The lurkers can't just go running in on top and stuff. Now, the tanks really do kind of dominate the lurkers in moments like this, and so what we're seeing is ByuN dropped into the main very confidently. Lurker counterattack, ByuN will split and deal with this with these few Marauders. Even if these few don't get the job fully done, I'm sure reinforcements will get there, but he's actually going to be fine. There's an abduction over here into some lurkers as well. ByuN will scan and probably just get some more kills. Unfortunately, this group of units is going to be found, but I mean, ByuN has found so much across the map. He is looking very, very good to take this first game of the best of 3. And yeah, it looks as though we are going to have a Dark that is just down and out for the count here at the end of Inside and Out. ByuN looking for that first map victory. Looking very good for that first map victory. GG. Cool game, obviously, with ByuN getting hit hard at first and then striking back very well also. That's a very fun bit of back and forth between the two. And makes for an awesome first game of this best of 3. ByuN getting the lead. Let's dive into game 2 then. As in the top right-hand corner of the map, our red Terran player is going to be up by 1. It is ByuN, and he's actually going to proxy. I kind of like the mind game because it's like, well, it's such a good Terran map. Why would you want to proxy? Well, you wouldn't. It's a good Terran map. But maybe that's when the proxy is least expected. 117 Mercury, thank you so much for the 9-month resub. Welcome back. Yeah, what a weird map for Dark not to veto. In contrast, when Hero Marine played Solo earlier today, Solo's only veto in a best of 5 was Stargazers, right? Like, you know, like, just in comparison, it's... Yeah. 3 racks from ByuN as well, so he's going to go full proxy mode out on the other side here. Dark's first Overlord won't see this. The second Overlord will stop short. It's going to at least see the SCVs as they advance forward for the first time. Not much to say about the 3 racks. I mean, Dark is hatch gas pooling, which means that at least he's... and for ByuN's sake, he's not pool first or anything. So that part of the plan for ByuN is going correct so far. And Marines will be popping and starting to rally out. And, I mean, this first Overlord, where's the high ground that it can run to? Here? You run in towards maybe a reinforced Marine? I actually think this first Overlord could potentially die. I mean, one SCV comes in. It's going to come in from a weird direction, so you may as well just reveal the Marine. And yeah, I guess the Overlord can get to that high ground. Obviously, if it's just one Marine initially, that's okay. Now, Dark will probably have to pull some amount of drones. Okay, he's immediately going to start mining over here. So it looks like what Dark wants to do is just give up this natural. And as he gives up this natural, take the in-base instead. And then not drone pull at all to fight the low ground. Interesting. Someone did this as well recently. I'm trying to think of what game it might have been. I don't really know if I have an answer for you, but someone had this response recently. It might have even been a Dark in another game. Yeah, it does work pretty nice. I mean, you just give it this hatchery pretty early, and you don't mess around. Obviously, the Marine shouldn't be able to do too much moving into the main. It is 3 racks as well, which means that giving up a hatchery is actually kind of fine, because the Terran isn't expanding super quickly at home. The only thing I have to say is obviously all these Marines are going to keep stacking together, and I wonder if ByuN just pulls workers and just says, let's go, let's do this super quickly. And kills a hatch so easily, doesn't do other damage. Would a worker pull really work? Would Dark be prepped for that? Spine on the high ground. Yeah, it looks like he would be prepped just in case. And ByuN knows that at this stage Dark is likely to have set up over here with a hatchery as well, right? He's still just building Marines, there's still no gases back at home. ByuN is stacking up money. Maybe we'll expand before he takes gas. The drones having to pull in is kind of a huge deal, but Dark just didn't have any Zerglings ready. Okay, now you lose 5 drones. You're going to kill a Queen as well. Oh my god, you're going to kill even more than those drones. Oh my god, there's so many low HP drones as well. And more Marines showing up all the time. He's going to get in here. He's going to kill the Spine Crawler off. Oh my goodness. And these Lings have no speed. That's a scary amount of Marines still. ByuN's just going to win the game walking into the main base. Wow. These Lings die. That Queen dies. The drones will continue to die. Okay, we actually saved the Queen. No, we don't. That Marine from the bottom side gets it. And that's just going to be game, no? The Lings die. Everything dies. Lings have speed. The saving grace of Dark right now. The Lings have speed. They can surround things very minorly when there's not really... I mean, okay, I guess we're going to kill off some of these Marines. Extra barracks going up at home from ByuN, who's already building a CC. Still no gas, so he's just going to go like mass Marine. He knows how much damage he did here. He just wants to make more Marines and absolutely look to kill Dark with units more than anything else. Buildings coming through. A couple of SCVs sit there, potentially ready to repair. Not really much else to say, guys. I mean, we are watching a Zerg player that is very, very dead in this game number 2. I wish I could make it a bit more exciting for you all, but I think this one is 100% pretty much done. Huh. I thought it was going to be a little bit more, I don't know, I'm genuinely curious what would have happened if ByuN doesn't proxy, though. Like, if Dark actually plays, like, a proper game on this map, what his plan was going to be. Because I just can't, in my head, still quite figure out why he'd want to play this map. Just when he has the choice to play other maps in best of 3, unless he just wanted to try something out, maybe? I guess, like I say, we'll never really know. These things actually do hold off the Marines. But ByuN's going to take this in-base expansion soon, flying his barracks home, so he's going to be on 5 racks in total as well. It's a pretty decent amount of barracks to play off of. Got the reactor and the tech lab down. ByuN is still coming through. A couple of additional lings are being built. I like this. Dark is setting up for one thing you can do, which is a Bane Bust, so ByuN prepares with the full wall off. Behind his wall off. The Great Wall of ByuN shall not be broken down. Yeah, it's pretty much the one way ByuN loses, right? A successful Baneling Bust in, Ling's Flood, there's maybe not enough Marines. There's a world that this can absolutely happen. So, yeah, it's just very smart. Full wall. Make sure this isn't something you're going to die to. And 5 Banes will bust through the depots, but then you just don't bust through the second wall. So I reckon we kill 5 depots, or we kill the 3 depots, and then Dark just insta-GG's. We might even need a Baneling number 6, so a little bit more than 5, just because he needs to actually... He might lose a Baneling running up here initially as well, to the bunker. That's kind of okay. Yeah. 3 depots into the GG. 3 depots apparently doesn't turn the game. Who would have guessed 3 depots wouldn't turn a game like that around, huh, guys? Who would have guessed it? Shock horror. Yeah, T0. Yeah, would have just loved to see what would have actually happened on, I would have just loved to have seen what would have actually happened had Dark had to play a more normal macro-focused game on this map.